Hey there, my name is Megan and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be recommending 5 fantasy book series that have low magic systems. But before we go ahead and get on into the books, if you are not already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the little bell icon so you can be notified every time I post new bookish content. I post new videos every Monday, Thursday, Saturday, and sometimes other days throughout the week. Also, don't forget to check down the description box below for links to all of my social medias, my Buddy Read Discord, and my Patreon, where you can be entered into winning book giveaways from me. The first series is the First Law series by Joe Abercrombie, and basically all of the books that I have read by Joe Abercrombie have had low magic systems and are just low magic in general, and that also includes his Shattered Sea trilogy, which I do have a full review for, so I'll link it up in the cards there for you. And although it has nothing to do with his First Law world, he still writes in the same manner with regards to the amount of magic in the world. The First Law series definitely focuses more on character development than it does on the magic, and the magic system is not very defined. We are following a cast of characters as they are kind of adapting and reacting to the parameters, the magical parameters set upon them in this world, rather than focusing on the magic system itself. The magic system is so underrepresented in this book that the people of this world don't even believe that magic exists anymore, and there's only a small group of people called the Magi that can wield the arts, and there's 3 different types of arts. I will say that the backstory to this world is fairly fantastical. History tells us that at a certain time, humans and demons coincided in the world together, and the humans fought the demons and banished them to the other side. And there are warlocks and sorcerers in this book, as well as these half-human, half-demon type beings. And then we do have some characters that have these slight magical abilities. One of our main characters, Logan Ninefingers, is able to talk to spirits and see spirits. So it's one of those things where that magic, that light magic is never really explained. It's just something that has to be accepted by the reader as part of Abercrombie's world. Next, we have the Gentleman Bastard series by Scott Lynch. The series is currently not finished and there's only 3 books out. Who knows when book 4 is coming out? I've been waiting for years. But in this world, we're basically following our main character, Locke Lamora, who was an orphan, and he ends up becoming apprenticed to this master con artist named Father Chains. And the whole story is basically about him being a con artist. And Locke really doesn't know where he came from or who he actually is. And as the series progresses, that revelations start to unfold, and there is a magical element to that. The magic system in this book, I would say, revolves mainly around the antagonist. In book 1, there is this antagonist known as the Grey King who is trying to murder these gang lords, and he employs a bond mage, and these are the magic users of this world. The bond mages are the only ones who are able to practice the magical arts, and they're not like very prevalent in society. In fact, I think like in the first book there's only 1 bond mage that Locke is having to deal with, so it's not like it's a common thing. Neither Locke nor any of the other characters as of right now are able to wield or use magic, and very similar to the First Law world, these characters are mostly just having to adapt and react to the magical situations that they're placed in. Having said that, I think that the character development and character relationships in this book are some of the best I've ever seen, as well as the cons that these characters pull off. Scott Lynch is just like so clever and so inventive and so creative, and keeping me guessing what was actually going to happen and then throwing things in there that I didn't expect to happen, which is why I love this series so much. Next, we have The Bone Ships, book 1 in the Tide Child series by R.J. Barker, and I've only read book 1, so I can only speak to the amount of magic that was presented in book 1, so I really don't know if it increases over the course of the series. I think that there's 3 books out, but in this world, as of right now, there is no magic system, and there is no magic users with regards to like the main characters that we were introduced to. But this is a seafaring book, and in this book we follow a young, like 19-year-old co-captain of this ship of the damned, which are people that life sentenced to work on the ship, and they end up accepting this mission to chase down this very infamous and rare dragon, and the ships in this world that are most coveted are those that are built from these dragons. So although we don't have a magic system as of right now and our characters aren't magical, we do have a couple of fantastical elements such as the dragons, and we also have a character known as the Glame. I think I'm pronouncing that right if I remember correctly from listening to the audiobook. And this is a magical being that is a variant in nature, so he looks like a bird, but he can like form human words. He's erect like a human, and every single ship has one of these, and he is able to command the power of the wind. And our main character kind of befriends the Glame because there's a lot of like bad stigma around this being, and they kind of develop this relationship. So even though as of right now there's no like actual definite magic system, we do have those fantastical elements. Next, we have the Covenant of Steel series by Anthony Ryan. Currently, only books 1 and 2 are published, and I'm almost done with book 2. But this book is very military focused, and it's also very focused on the main character and his journey and what he sees and experiences because it is written in first-person point of view. Once again, there is no definite magic system that I have come across yet in this book, and our main character certainly has no magical ability, but he does come into contact with the Sereths, who are supposed to have this magical ability. Basically, they're able to control kind of like the life force of the earth, and we got a glimpse of the explanation of the magic in book 2. Anthony Ryan literally introduced it in like 2 chapters, and our main character listened and then it was done and gone. So the introduction of the magic in this world was incredibly brief, and he's yet to show us how it actually affects the world. But then there are a couple of other fantastical elements. For example, one of the main characters, Evadine, has these visions of this upcoming apocalypse, and our main character also has visions. He has this reoccurring dream where he is talking to the spirit of a man that he killed, who's almost given him these like prophetic visions. And addition to that, our main character, Alwyn, does come across a book of prophecy that has to do with like himself, and we do get more explanation of that in book 2. So while this book does have those awesome magical elements, like I said, it's way more military focused. It's way more, I would say, political machinations focused, and the magic just kind of drives some of the decisions that the characters have to make. And then we have the Books of Babel series by Josiah Bancroft, and this book has absolutely no magic whatsoever, and I've only read the first 2 books in the series, but I've also read and heard that the series does not have any magic, but it is incredibly fantastical. I would say it's very steampunky and probably even a little bit sci-fi-y, so I would say this is more fantasy sci-fi, but the world draws inspiration from the Book of Genesis or the Tower of Babel story in the Bible, and we're following a main character that loses his wife in the Tower of Babel and has to literally go through each level in the Tower of Babel to find her, and as he does so, he comes across all of these strange beings and just learns what the truth of the tower is. So I would definitely call the series way more bizarre than anything else. There's zero magic, but the world is just weird and bizarre and fantastical, and I just could not include it on this list. All right, you guys, those are 5 series that have very light or limited magic in them. Let me know if you have read any of these series and what you thought of them, or if you have any recommendations of other books or other fantasy series that have light magic, and I will see y'all in another video soon. Goodbye!